What if one moment you're a promising student with your whole future ahead of you, and the next you're gone without a trace? No crime scene, no body, just a car, a snowy road, and 1,000 unanswered questions. This is the haunting story of Maura Murray, an all-American girl who vanished into the cold night of New Hampshire, leaving behind a trail of mystery that still bewilders investigators and captivates the internet. Was she running from something, or did someone catch her when she was most vulnerable? Let's rewind the clock and begin this strange, heartbreaking, and chilling tale. Before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. Maura Murray was born on May 4th, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts. The fourth of 5 children, her life was shaped early on by her parents' divorce when she was just 6 years old. She lived mostly with her mother, but remained close to her father, Fred Murray, a man who worked in medical services and played a consistent role in her life. Maura was the golden child, smart, athletic, and ambitious. At Whitman-Hanson Regional High School, she was a standout on the track team, and her excellence led her to West Point, the United States Military Academy. But West Point wasn't where her story would unfold. After some time, Maura transferred to the University of Massachusetts Amherst to study nursing. She had a long-distance relationship with Billy Rausch, an Army lieutenant stationed in Oklahoma. To outsiders, Maura had it all: a bright future, a loving family, a stable relationship. But behind the surface, cracks were forming. In the weeks leading up to her disappearance, Maura started hinting that she needed a break. She told close friends she wanted to get away. Then, on the night of February 5th, 2004, while working her shift at the campus security desk in the Melville dorm, she received a call from her older sister, Kathleen. Kathleen, who was battling alcoholism, had just been released from rehab. Just hours later, Maura broke down in tears at work. When her supervisor asked what was wrong, she could only mutter, "My sister." Her reaction puzzled everyone. Why did that call affect her so much? 2 days later, on February 7th, Maura's father, Fred, visited her to help her shop for a new car. That evening, Maura attended a small party with friends. She told them she might drive her father's Toyota Corolla back to him that night, which was odd, given how late it was and the fact that she had been drinking. Around 2:30 a.m., Maura left the party, supposedly heading back to her dorm. But instead, she crashed Fred's car into a guardrail on Route 9 in Hadley. The damage was around $10,000. Police came, but didn't issue a citation. In the early hours of Monday, February 9th, Maura began acting strangely. She searched MapQuest for directions to Burlington, Vermont, and the Berkshires. Later that morning, she emailed her boyfriend saying she didn't feel like talking, but promised to call. She then contacted her professors, claiming she'd be out of town for a few days due to a death in the family. A lie. Shortly after, she called a condo rental in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a place her family had visited in the past. The owners didn't recall the conversation, but they were certain no booking was made. That afternoon, Maura emailed her supervisor, withdrew $280 from an ATM, and bought nearly $40 worth of alcohol. Security footage confirmed she was alone, calm, and showed no signs of distress. At around 3:30 p.m., Maura got into her aging black Saturn and drove off campus. At approximately 7 p.m., Maura crashed her Saturn on a remote stretch of Route 112 in Woodsville, New Hampshire. Her car veered off the road near a sharp bend and ended up lodged in a snowbank. The area was dark, desolate, and icy. No streetlights, no traffic cameras, just scattered houses barely visible through the trees. One of the nearby residents, Faith Westman, heard a loud thump outside her home. When she looked out, she saw the Saturn and called 911 at 7:27 p.m. Strangely, she mentioned seeing a man smoking a cigarette in the car. But Maura was a non-smoker and openly hated smoking. Faith's husband, however, believed the red glow was from a cell phone screen and that the figure was a woman, possibly Maura, using her phone. Soon after, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver, pulled up in his bus. He saw a young woman, shivering but unharmed. He offered to help, even invited her to wait at his house. She declined, saying she'd already called AAA. But AAA had no record of the call. Atwood left her alone and returned home. About 10 minutes later, he phoned the police. When they arrived just after 7:40 p.m., Maura was gone, but some items were left behind. Her gloves, her textbooks, directions to Burlington, Vermont, her favorite stuffed animal, a winter coat, and a blanket. Why would someone walk off into a snowy night without their coat or wallet? Was she in shock? Was someone else involved? Officer Smith interviewed nearby residents. Atwood went home, and within minutes, she was gone. And that's when the confusion and speculation exploded. The next day, police launched a limited search. A dog from New Hampshire State Police was given one of Maura's gloves to track her scent. The dog followed the trail for roughly 100 yards, then suddenly stopped near the intersection of the road, east of where the car had crashed. It led investigators to believe Maura got into another vehicle. She didn't vanish into the woods. She didn't wander off aimlessly. She may have taken a ride. But with who? The search expanded in the coming days. Helicopters, cadaver dogs, volunteers, nothing. No footprints, no scent, no sightings. She was gone like smoke in the wind. 8 days after Maura disappeared, her father Fred Murray and her boyfriend Billy Rausch were interviewed on CNN by journalist Soledad O'Brien. During the conversation, Billy revealed something eerie. He said he received a voicemail while his phone had been off. When he listened to the message, all he could hear was breathing, then crying, a soft whimper. "I'm certain it was Maura," he said. Then came another twist. Just 1 month after Maura disappeared, another young woman, 17-year-old Brianna Maitland, vanished after her shift at a restaurant in Montgomery, Vermont. Her car was found backed into an abandoned house. Brianna, like Maura, was never seen again. The media ran wild with theories. Was it a serial killer? Could the two cases be connected? FBI eventually ruled out any link to Israel Keys, the serial killer active in the area. State police also insisted the two cases were unrelated. Still, the timing and proximity were hard to ignore. And then came a man named Rick Forcier. Rick Forcier lived just a few miles from the crash site. He was a contractor and neighbor of Butch Atwood. At first, Forcier told police he was home watching TV the night Maura vanished. But 3 months later, he came forward with a new story. He claimed he saw a young woman, matching Maura's description, jogging along Route 112 on the night she disappeared. She was alone and moving fast, heading east. The police found his timeline to be credible, but it also raised more questions. Why was Maura running in the dark? Why hadn't anyone else seen her? The search expanded again in May, 3 months after the crash, based on this new lead. Multiple cadaver dog teams combed the area, but once again, nothing. A bright young woman vanishes after a minor car crash on a dark, snowy road. No body, no solid leads, just a haunting string of inconsistencies, strange behavior, and an eerie silence. Maura Murray's disappearance has become one of the most mysterious missing person cases in America. And as we explore the suspects and theories, one question remains. What really happened on that cold February night? So, what really happened to Maura Murray? Some believe she walked away on her own, overwhelmed by life, looking to start over. But would someone trying to disappear pack all their belongings? Leave behind their wallet and phone? Venture into snow-covered woods at night without a coat? Others believe it was suicide. But there's no note, no motive. And Maura had made concrete plans, calling rental places, emailing professors, gathering documents. She even reminded her dad she'd call him to complete the insurance claim. none of that screams suicidal intent. The most chilling theory, and frankly, the one that seems most plausible, is that Maura was picked up by a stranger, someone local, someone familiar with those dark, empty roads, someone who saw a young woman, alone, scared, and vulnerable, and took advantage. In February 2024, exactly 20 years after Maura's disappearance, New Hampshire authorities released an age-progressed photo of what she might look like today. A solemn reminder that this case is still open, still active, still without answers. Despite countless investigations, podcasts, documentaries, and search efforts, Maura Murray's fate remains unknown. Retired state police investigator Lieutenant John Healy said it best. She got into the wrong car. She went to the wrong house. And maybe that's all we'll ever know. But if there's one thing this case has taught us, it's that silence can be terrifying. That even in a world filled with digital footprints, people can still disappear. And sometimes, the truth hides in plain sight, buried under years of mistakes, secrets, and silence. What do you think happened to Maura Murray? Was she running from something? Or someone? Was it a tragic accident? Or something far more sinister? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries that deserve answers. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious,